G'day everyone, this is Daniel O'Grady. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you're well. And in today's video, of course, this 1974 Nissan Cherry 1200 X-1R. But in addition to that, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of my favorite Nissan Cherries that I've spotted over the years. And I'm sure the one that takes the top spot will surprise you. And I should also note that this car was known by a different name over in Europe, was it not? A Datsun 100A or a Datsun 120A. Suffice to say, I'm going to call this a Nissan Cherry because that's exactly what it is. But for now, let's go back in time and space to Mizukami Mura in 2016 to when I saw this amazing Nissan Cherry. Yes, this is 2016, and yet I'm getting some sort of premonition from the near future how the world will be stricken by some deadly virus, but it's probably nothing. Yeah, so this here Mizukami Mura, it's in southern Kumamoto Prefecture. It's a good few hours drive down south from where I live, but fortunately for me, we always see some things along the way, and then when we get there, it is a fantastic event, plenty of entries and plenty of friendly people. Yeah, and there it is, and boy, oh boy, was I surprised, delighted and excited when I saw this, because every other 1X or 1XR you see is, do you know, white. Might the X-1R version have been only available in white? That does seem likely the case, but I do lack, facts. But you know, you can download the internet and, check that for yourself. So I did have a bit of a look for information, and what I found was very, very surprising. It seems that the R affixed to the X1 basically equals over fenders. Well, in addition to the R on the badge. So really nothing substantial beyond the X1, but I guess there is that perceived sort of exclusiveness about the X1R. Yeah, that's the info I've got at the second, but if you do happen to know more, if you could shed some light, do drop it in the comments below. Perhaps Troy Wombat Philpott or Dale Grosvenor Gibbs might be able to add something, and that would be greatly appreciated. I did get some information from the owner. He said he had bought it 8 years previously. I'm thinking that's about 2008. He did source it from Nagoya, and he did say something else that definitely didn't surprise me. He said that he had once had one of these back when he was younger. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's a common story. In fact, that could be even the second time I've heard that from a Nissan Cherry X1 owner. The only other thing I touched on with the owner was the issue of parts, and he said there's only one place to get those, and that's Takeguchi Jidosha in Hiroshima. No, I'm not an agent for them, and don't hit me up for parts for them. It was just part of the conversation. And of course, Takeguchi Jidosha are very, very well known in Japan. They've got some amazing cars. I've featured 2 of their cars previously, and they won't be the last 2. I've still got another Gamera Face Laurel sedan that I'm going to show you, and also a 4-door Cherry, which looks amazing. So you know how I said before, perhaps all X1Rs are white, and you were probably thinking, yeah Dan, that's not white. Well, I knew some information and I didn't tell you this one was white, as can be seen in the engine bay, and there is the transversely mounted A12 engine. Yes, it is a front-wheel drive car, but I do not hold that against it. I reckon it's a pretty cool car. The engine capacity is 1171 cc's and produces 80 metric horsepower, and of course there are those twin SU carburettors sitting on top there, and the layout, the look, I'm loving it. It's wasabi, it's fantastic, I dig it. Am I lingering? I think I'm lingering. There's a couple more things to mention, including my absolute favourite as Nissan Cherry ever. One thing I forgot to mention that I'm loving about this car, it's that rear louver. I had one on my VK Calais. It makes so much sense. It's awesome. And now let's get into the interior. Sporty 2-spoke steering wheel. I'm loving that. Extra gauges in the center console, arranged vertically. How epic is that? Apologies, I am speaking a little bit quick at the end here, but I've spent far too long on this video, so just before I get to my favouriteest Nissan Cherry ever, just a sec, subscribe if you haven't already, check out WasabiCars around the socials, say good day, use the WasabiCars hashtag so I can check your pictures on Instagram, that would be awesome. Okay, and now my favouriteest Nissan Cherry, it is this van. It is a van in Japan, a Nissan Cherry van. I did see it at Halfies in Fukuoka Prefecture. This was a cool little thing. I'll tell you what, this could be a real WasabiCars car. I'm just loving it as it is. Quirky body style and the patina, the color, the drabness. This is epic. I'm loving this car. Tell me what you think of it. That'd be awesome. And now we're going to jump to seeing this car drive away because it is time to go. I wish I could hop in a Nissan Cherry and drive away into the sunset, but sadly that is not to be. But I will see you next Saturday with another WasabiCars video, or maybe Wednesday, and there was a Wednesday video. Do check that out if you haven't already. And I'm going to scoot. Everyone, love yous all, and goodbye.